You won't believe this. Wait till you see what I'm just walking up on. Mystery Lake has been visited. Look at that. This is old. Lexi, there you are. So we have a trapline cabin here. And I'm going to say this thing hasn't been used in god-awful lot of years. This is very unexpected and very cool at the same time. Look at this little cabin. This thing is old, really old. Let's go investigate it. Nobody's been here in dog's age. All the foliage is all growing up all around it. There's nothing here to indicate anybody's been at this cabin anytime soon. It's been abandoned for a long time. There's a tag on it from the ministry. It says Trapper's Cabin. So this is an old trap line. So let's go investigate this. I'm going to read to you what the tag says. Trapline Cabin, Ministry of Natural Resources, under the Public Lands Act and the regulation and subject to the limitations thereof, the licensed trapper of registered trapline number, I'm not going to say it, is authorized to occupy and use this cabin situated on Crown land for the purpose of fur harvesting and related activities thereto. So there you have it. And this hasn't been visited in a long time. And I'm very curious on how this trapper got here. Maybe he was getting flown in, who knows. In any case, these cabins are never locked. And should you be lost in these woods or something like that, they're never locked so that anybody can go in there and use them as they need it if they're in trouble, right? So let's open it up. We'll go have a look inside. You can see by all the needles, of the accumulation of needles, nobody's been here in forever. Wow. This is very old. Even have an old cedar strip canoe in here. Let me find something to prop up these doors and let them light in so we can see better. We're going to add cool old oil lamps. place has the basics a trapper needs. Bunk beds enough for 4 people in here. More oil lamps up in the air. I'll pan around with the camera once I do a first look here. Wood stove looks like it's still in usable condition. I'm kind of surprised I don't see any traps hanging outside, because usually trappers' cabins you see snares and conibear traps hanging in the trees. So we got the kitchen area over here. Boy, that is an old canoe. Pots and pans are all left there. It's quite dark, hard to see. I hope you guys can see okay. All the dishes are there. Looks like it would have had an area, maybe put a Coleman stove type of thing right there. The place is messed up a lot by the mice, and you can see all the pieces of foam that the mice have been chewing at the bedding and spreading it around. But structurally the cabin is still pretty good. The floors are very wonky, they're all over the map. Pretty cool. Let me give you a scan. We got a jar here full of bars of soap. And actually, if you're wondering why would somebody put it in a jar, you wouldn't believe how mice love eating soap. I've seen that. Bars of soap left out and mice will eat it. Nice little hatchet. Walter's hatchet. Very good brand. Needs to be rebuilt. Got a buck saw, more frying pans. No insulation, which is a good thing really, because if you have insulation in these cabins in the middle of nowhere, the mice and the rodents get in and they nest right in there. Okay, let's push this back in. Place is full of cobwebs. Wooden matches. Coffee. Not sure what that is. I'm guessing it might be dish soap. It's a cool little enameled pot. Empty. Good idea to be empty. If that had sugar in there, mice would be all over that. More bars of soap. Hope you guys can see okay. Pretty dark in here, so I really have no idea how it's looking on the camera. But everything here, all these enameled pots, it screams 60s enameled dishware. There's a nice sized bush pot right there. Has a clip for another handle. That's probably the lid for it right there. Yeah. Look at that. There's a big mouse nest right there. That's what happens when you have mattresses and stuff like that. The mice get in there, they rip up the foam and they make nests out of it. Oh, looks like Coleman fuel, camp fuel, and it's still probably got about half in there. Pretty cool though. And then you got your old oil lanterns. And right there, that back window is covered over with a sheet of tin from the outside, again for bear protection. I see more stovepipes underneath the bed. Always need extra stovepipes. Same thing, that window's covered over with tin. Keep the bears out. There's a cool frying pan. There's old school frying pan right there. And over the stove, you see these racks here. When you're out all day long in the winter, you come back to camp, you're completely wet. You hang all your mittens and you pull your felt liners out of your boots and you throw them all up there right over the stove and dry everything off. So that's what that's for. Let's step outside. And that's the view they have of their cabin. Let's go for a walk around. Don't see a whole lot in the way of supplies. I see an outhouse out there in the woods. Spare chimney. Shingles are still in good condition. It wouldn't take a whole lot of work to bring this cabin back up to snuff. But this is 100% unexpected find. And so we have a doghouse, and beyond the doghouse, a little bit of an embankment, and that's where their trash heap is. And looking at that trash heap, everything I see in there is very old gallons of camp fuel, that kind of stuff. And you know, quite honestly, back in the day it was common. You created a trash heap. Nowadays people haul their trash out more than they ever did. I think it's still a testament on how long this place has not been visited. Earlier I said it was odd that a trapper's cabin you don't see traps hanging around. Well, there is some remnants of trap parts. Galvanized buckets are still usable. So let's have a quick look around here. Chicken wire, flat bar. That's all bear prevention. That's what that is. Try to prevent the bears from breaking in and making it home for winter. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the cabin tour. I'm going to close this up and re-secure everything, make sure everything's okay. And I'm going to grab my gear and I'm going to do my portage back to the other lake and head on back to my own campsite and have supper. So guys, thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed this little tour of this abandoned cabin, Trapper's Cabin, and I'll see you guys on the next one.